Sometimes making games means getting a little creative with the rules. When features don't fit neatly into an engine or when deadlines are looming, devs don't always have the time to build a perfect system from scratch and integrate it cleanly into the project. So what do? They get scrappy, they get weird, they get downright brilliant. This video isn't here to dunk on those solutions. It's a celebration of ingenuity, of hilarious hacks, and of the fact that even the biggest, most beloved games out there were sometimes held together by the coding equivalent of duct tape. So if you're an indie dev stuck on a problem, just remember, even AAA studios sometimes solve things by placing a train on a player character like a hat. Here are 10 wild times developers hacked their way to greatness, in no particular order. Also, I only included ones that I could find some sort of proof of. Number 5. Fallout 3, the train is technically a hat. When Fallout 3 needed a train ride for the Broken Steel DLC, the devs ran into a problem. The engine didn't support moving physics-based vehicles. So what did they do? They slapped the train model onto the player character and had them run along the train tracks beneath the map, completely invisible to the player. According to a piece by Phil Savage on PC Gamer, the train isn't actually a hat, but rather it is equipped as armor on the player's right hand, with the 3D model for the train positioned where a hat would usually be. Either way, it may be technically wrong, but functionally, it's perfect. Number 4. Assassin's Creed, horses built on human skeletons. In the original Assassin's Creed, the dev and animation tools were only built to handle bipedal, or two-legged characters. Horses, being quadrupeds, didn't exactly fit that mold. So when the team wanted to add a horse for the protagonist, Altair, to ride, instead of rewriting the animation system, the devs just took a human skeleton rig and morphed it into a horse shape by stretching and bending it until it looked and could move like a horse. For oversimplified context, a 3D character usually has an invisible skeleton or rig that drives the animation by allowing you to manipulate parts of the mesh independently. Like this example shows, the skeleton is being used to manipulate the person's body. So what they did for the horse probably looked like this. Okay, well, not really this, because it wouldn't have had a human mesh attached to the skeleton. I just think it's a funny visual image. But the skeleton did probably end up looking something similar to this, but with a horse's mesh. And in theory, it's really not too far off from how a simple horse's rigging would normally look like. So yeah, technically when you're galloping across the Holy Land, you're riding on a very tall, four-legged man in a horse suit. It's cursed, it's genius, it works. Number 3. World of Warcraft, invisible rabbits run the world. In World of Warcraft, a surprising number of quests, events, and visual effects are powered by invisible rabbits. Here's why. The devs needed certain actions, like casting spells, triggering events, or moving along specific paths, to happen independently of the player or other scripted sequences. As it turns out, these were all things NPCs could already do. So instead of creating entirely new systems, the team simply used what was already available. They placed invisible bunny NPCs into the world to handle those tasks behind the scenes. One example given in this Kotaku article is a laser effect might look like it's targeting the player, but it's actually following an invisible rabbit that's programmed to follow you. You may be wondering, why rabbits? This has to do with the naming format that was used at the time for objects in the game. Alphabetically, critter_bunny showed up first in the dev tools, making it quick to find and easy to use. They are the unseen architects of Azeroth, fluffy, omniscient, all-powerful. Number 2, The Sims 2, the remote-controlled car is a hat. When your sim plays with a remote-controlled car in The Sims 2, it's not just driving around on its own. It's secretly attached to the head of an invisible NPC who's running around under the map. This creates the illusion that the car is able to move itself. This hack also apparently causes some bizarre side effects. One Reddit user shared this incredibly creepy screenshot where the RC car was showing up as a faceless house occupant. Another mentioned that since it's technically an NPC, the car can actually get sick if a sick sim interacts with it. And apparently the faceless NPC doesn't have the ability to heal itself, so this leads to a never-ending cycle of sims getting sick. This idea seems to be validated by another post where someone posted the message that they got in-game when their RC car was sick. While looking into this one, I saw that apparently Sims 2 also had an RC helicopter, and I'm assuming it must have also had its movement done via an invisible NPC, right? Does that NPC just have no gravity applied to it, or is maybe the height of the NPC adjusted to match the height the helicopter flies up to? I don't really know, but either way, it's all equal parts genius and chaos, and also hella creepy. Number 1, Titan Quest. Invisible squirrels as timers. What do you do when your engine doesn't have a built-in delay system for events and triggers? If you're working on Titan Quest, you use squirrels. Apparently, one of the devs realized that NPC idle animations could be used to measure time. So they dropped invisible squirrels with predictable idle loops into the game world to act as countdown timers. Yes, these phantom rodents silently controlled when events would trigger, making them the tiny, unsung timekeepers of ancient Greece. It's simple, it's effective, it's rodent-powered. All right, that wraps up this video. Just remember that these hacks weren't signs of laziness, but rather creativity under pressure. If you want to hear more about how indie devs think through their design choices, some of the clever hacks that they may have used during development, or simply want to learn about a wide variety of indie games, be sure to check out my channel where I post interviews with indie devs weekly. I actually got inspiration for this video from one of those interviews where we were discussing how sometimes the hacky stuff just works, and if that's what you got to do to release your game, that's what you got to do. Also, sorry to the world for creating the Assassin's Creed Horseman skeleton, but he had to be made. Oh no, he's back.